Hey guys, it's Reynad back, and today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite characters in the game, Dooley. So when I decided to make a game, I knew that the story of it was really important to the game's success. But I didn't really have any experience in building a story or a world or characters. All of it was pretty new to me. The only thing I knew for sure is that I didn't want to limit myself from pursuing ideas that I might have in the future. So I wanted the world to have maximum thematic design space, kind of the way that our game was trying to have maximum gameplay design space. To that end, we want a world that's kind of eclectic, something that could support futuristic species and high tech, but also like medieval stuff and characters of all sorts of different species from different places and backgrounds. A world with a lot of depth and verticality. I wanted there to be, stuff in the sky, on the ground, just really a lot of space to explore. So if we're gonna have this sort of eclectic world, we needed some of that to be represented in our characters, the heroes that you actually play as when you play the game. So even though our game's changed a lot since we started making it, we're still pretty sure we wanted an engineer character. And since I wanted a world that's pretty eclectic, I knew that I wanted some of our characters to not be human. So the combination of these things kind of made me think, what kind of character do we really want for that engineer? And my mind instantly gravitated towards like a tiny little robot dude. Some early sketches of potential Dooleys or, engineer robot guys. We had this one with the wrench, which I really like the look of. Just, really clean, simple, looks like an engineer, looks like he builds stuff. He has a little screwdriver arm. I was a big fan of this one for a lot of reasons. We also had this one. This might have been my favorite, honestly. It just looked the most like organic engineering. I don't know, just had all these tools, a cool little coat looking thing, or like pants. I don't know, like he checked all the boxes. It was a cute little robot. He's clearly an engineer. He does what you'd expect him to do. And we had a bunch of other sketches like this. I didn't like this one as much, but this one's cute in its own way too. And this is kind of where we left it off last time we talked about doing some sort of robot engineer in previous updates. So in this first round of sketches, we actually tried some robots that levitated instead of, rolling around on the ground or walking. So we had some of these drone-looking ones that were pretty unique and, charming in their own way, but didn't quite feel right. They felt a little, like they didn't have quite enough personality, maybe. And this is kind of where we left it off, honestly. So this video isn't really meant to be like a full character reveal or anything. I'm just trying to show you guys some of the early stages of designing the character. So to that end, I'm not going to give you his entire backstory or anything, but I do want to give you a bit of context about what the character is and what drives him. So Dooley is a little robot, like an appliance, and he's mass-produced like, millions of these appliances, very popular one. I think of like a home assistant or something, right? And he's become sentient. He's self-aware. He likes building stuff. He has a sense of self. And now, he's on the path to fighting for robot justice. He wants to liberate his fellow appliances from the cruel oppressors of humanity. So, after figuring out a bit of those traits about him, we wanted those characteristics to be more visible, in the character. So we decided to go back to the drawing board of sketches to make Dooley feel more visually representative of his backstory. And we tried the entire range of little robot dudes we could think of. Some of these we liked, some we didn't. And we basically went back to do another more polished round of these sketches. And the art team did a really great job on these, honestly. We're really happy with a lot of them. Just as a team, we kind of felt like robots with two eyes. I don't know, something about it didn't seem as cute to me as the one with a single eye. Personally, I just really liked D. I think it kind of communicated what I wanted from Dooley. Right, he looks like a little machine, he's mobile, he doesn't have arms or anything, he doesn't really need those. I'm not trying to make like a robot person. He's supposed to be like a cute little robot with limited abilities, until he builds the tools for himself to do stuff that he wants to do. He's got a little scarf, which is like something that differentiates him from other models of Dooley. So really, I liked a lot about this, and E as well looked very cool. The gem, the two-eye thing did look pretty cool there, to be honest. Like, I don't think the number of eyes is really like a drawback or anything. They both had merit. And the main issue we took with these is they looked a little bit too regal. Like they were, they looked like a pet for a very rich person, right? They each had these gems in them and these ornate, curly, like, metal patterns. These are very, like, bougie robots, and Dooley was a little bit downtrodden, right? He's self-aware. He's this small little creature in a big open world. He doesn't know anyone like him. And, he should be a little bit scuffed up, we thought, at least to some extent. So we decided to look at sketches going more in that direction. And these do look a little familiar with some other robots and other IP. So we decided, never mind about this direction. Maybe he doesn't necessarily need to look scuffed. Maybe we can tell the story of him being downtrodden through, the story or the gameplay, not so much through his actual character looking scuffed up. Most self-aware things want to take good care of themselves. Even cats clean themselves. He wouldn't let himself stay scuffed for long. So we decided we liked these two designs from the last sketch a little bit more. We wanted to go down this direction further. We tried combining the two, some elements of the sketches that we liked here, together with these more scuffed up sketches. And we got kind of a middle ground here. But yeah, the reality is, these were so beat up that a lot of them looked villainous almost. This could be a bad guy, this one's just creepy. None of them seemed as cute as I wanted the character to be. Because at the end of the day, cute is a very important characteristic that I just wanted out of Dooley. So, off the two sketches we liked more, the team went back and they did a bunch of these, and they did a really good job. And really the big piece of feedback we gave them from these last two rounds is they didn't really look like they're on a mission. They don't look like they're fighting for the rights of their people and trying to liberate AI. They just looked like little toys. And we wanted to express that a little bit more, in his character, that he's on a mission and, he's righteous and standing up for himself. And we had this round of Dooley, which honestly I love a lot of these. I think they look very cool. But a lot of them did seem a little bit angry, and I think that was just kind of detracting from the cuteness. So again, I think that whole characteristic of fighting for your species and rights and everything, I think that part of Dooley we want to tell through the story, not necessarily the way his eye looks or anything like that. So honestly, even though we liked all of these sketches a lot, I still really liked F the most. I still really liked this one more than any of these other directions. It just checked all the boxes and it was pretty minimalist. It didn't need all these little appendages or external accessories in order to look robot-y. So basically we decided, okay, let's go with F and let's figure out what color should Dooley be. So our art team came back to us with a round of colorized sketches, and we felt like the orange one was the better direction to go in, but we're also wondering, do these other colors around Dooley really add anything? These blues in his wheel or the ring around him. And basically we decided, hey, let's make Dooley more silver, so that when we show our Dooley side by side with non-sentient Dooleys, they're clearly distinct. The non-sentient ones should just look like slabs of metal, shiny little appliances. Whereas Dooley would have only the scarf that differentiated him and, maybe the color of his eye. And after making his eye a bit bigger to up the cuteness and a little bit more polish, the art team came to us with this, which is pretty much where we're at now. We're trying to decide, which way do we want the scarf to be. Personally, I like the one hanging down more because if we ever do animate this character, if we show him in motion in future media, the scarf basically shows that he's rolling forward. Whereas with this, he would just lean forward slightly. It would be awkward to show this one moving, basically. You need to just do a blur effect on the wheel. And I don't know, this seemed more like an outlaw or a bandit, and this just seemed more cute, like a little kid with oversized sleeves. I think this is more the feeling we're going for. I also decided to try a red scarf. I just always pictured Dooley with a red scarf instead, in my head. And even though I really like how this looks, I think we're probably gonna go with orange at the end of the day because red is already one of Vanessa's primary colors. We kind of try to adhere to color schemes for each character. So, red was taken. If he's only gonna have one color, let's not have it overlap with one of our other characters. So yeah, we're gonna go with orange at the end of the day. Also decided to see what he looks like without a scarf. I think if we ever show this in-game in the future, Dooley should be blushing. But yeah, this pretty much is where we ended up. That's where the character is today. I'd love to hear what you guys think of him. To be honest, it's been a pretty fragmented process because, we started looking into the character last year, and then we did some of the story for him, and then we kind of went back to the drawing board and rebuilt them from the ground up. But I really like where we ended up, honestly. You know, it took some time, but the character looks pretty good, and I think there's still room to improve it even more beyond here. So, yeah, let us know what you guys think. We'd love to hear your thoughts, and can't wait to see you back here next Friday for another update of The Bazaar.